Good evening. We will begin our presentation regarding the STED engineering program. Please note that this is being recorded. Please keep your cameras off and put any comments inside of the chat. Should you have any questions, please type your email address and your questions in the chat. We have provided some links inside the chat for your support to the program of studies, the school mint link, to the lottery to see your placement, as well as a link to the Stafford County Stat Academy program. Stafford County has our Elevate Stafford goals, which includes meaningful post-secondary outcomes, high expectations, and academic excellence for all students, and a safe and engaging, welcoming environment for all that supports and invests in all of our staff. We are excited that we have 50 students that have been invited to participate in the next cohort of STAT engineering at North Stafford High School. The process includes applying to the lottery. Acceptances were shared on February 5th, and those confirmations are due on February 21st. Today, we'll talk a little bit about the program. Its course sequences. We'll talk about logistics of students participating. And we, again, will ask you if you have any questions to put those inside the chat. STAT is among the 21 Governor STEM Academies. These academies were established by the Virginia Department of Education to support STEM innovation and learning for students in the Commonwealth. Students that are in STAT are expected to follow the STAT Honors Code of Excellence that is available on our STAT website. They earn STAT regalia during graduation, and they have the opportunity to participate in honors, AP, and dual enrollment classes throughout their time in their four-year cohort. Leadership opportunities and opportunities to connect with their cohort, which is essentially the relationship with students that are growing inside programs from freshman to senior year, are built in to the STAT experience. Project Lead the Way is a Virginia Department of Education program that is nationally recognized and adopts the opportunities for students to have problem-based and project-based mindset learning. This high-level programs include collaboration and thinking and prepare students with skills that they'll need inside their career path. Project Lead the Way engineering include the courses that you see on the screen. These courses are eligible for college credit through RIT College, and students will have the opportunity to apply for college credit with their STAT engineer lead. The STAT engineering course sequence is as follows on the screen. As you can see, in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, you will see honors, AP, and DE courses as options. Algebra 1 is encouraged in 8th grade. STAT engineering courses that are in gray are the Project Lead the Way courses that are required in this cohort. These include Introduction to Engineering Design, Aerospace Engineering, digital electronics, principles of engineering. Required electives include civil engineering and architecture, computer integrated manufacturing, and then the senior year, engineering, design, and development, and a capstone program. The capstone is the end of the year project that students collaborate for an end project. Students in the STAT engineering program have the opportunity to participate in an orientation day where all ninth grade STAT students will have the opportunity to collaborate and interact with other students in their cohort, have the opportunity to connect with leaders in STAT engineering, and get excited about their next 4 years. The application process is on the screen. This includes the first round of notifications that was on Monday, February 5th. And those students that were notified on February 5th have until February 21st to accept or decline their offer. Please log into your account on School Mint. We'll put that back into the chat. It's placed back into the chat to be able to check your submission status and view your submitted applications. Accepting an offer declines all other offers, including waitlist offers. If you receive an offer after February 6th or later, students will have 16 days after that date to accept or decline. Transportation for students in 9th and 10th grade will have the opportunity to attend a specialty center or the STAT engineering program at North Stafford, and they will be required to be transferred to that school, to North Stafford. For rising 11th and 12th grade students, they may choose to travel to that program. Transportation will be provided by Stafford schools between the home and the school, or between the two schools for upperclassmen. Students who transfer before becoming a full member of a school includes VHSL eligibility, including clubs, sports, and activities. Students who leave the STEP program will be required to return to their zone high school. Students who wish to transfer into a different pathway at their center may make their request if space is available. These scheduling adjustments will be completed by your center or school counseling team. I see there are questions inside the chat. We'll be answering these questions. However, if you have additional questions after this presentation, we ask you to please email the email that's on the screen, the email address that's on the screen, which is academicprograms@staffordschools.net. If you have a question inside the email, we also, inside the chat, we also ask that you add your email address. The first question is, the classes for ninth graders include Algebra 1, but we were told our students would need to take Algebra 1 in summer school. Is that not correct? Algebra 1 is encouraged is encouraged and recommended for students prior to ninth grade. It's recommended for students prior to ninth grade. Will your son be able to take Algebra 1 during freshman year? Yes, they will be able to. However, looking at that course sequence, it's recommended for students to take it prior to starting ninth grade. And inside the chat, it's identified that students recommended the recommendation to take Algebra 1 prior to ninth grade is the opportunity for students to take more advanced math classes before college. Students in the STAT engineering program have the opportunity to learn regarding various different types of engineering. This includes civil, aerospace, mechanic, digital electronics, as well as I have the opportunity to earn college credit through RIT College through Project Lead the Way. Our EPIC program also has engineering. That is a general engineering track that concentrates more on development, building, maintaining, and exploring architectural design. How long is the Algebra 1 summer school program, and do you know the dates yet? I will thank you for putting in your email address. We will answer that question and get a response back to you. You can also put email the academic programs at staffordschools.net, but we will capture that question and respond back to your email. Can seniors enroll in the program get early release if they met all of the diploma credits early? Seniors don't have the opportunity to enroll in STAT. Only 9th and 10th graders, because of the rigor of the program. 11th and 12th graders are not accepted into STAT engineering because they have far too many prerequisites that they will not be able to complete in 2 years. Regarding the question with Algebra 1 and summer school, the dates will be made available in March and will be on the Stafford Schools website. Questions regarding transportation will be answered closer to the end of the school year into the spring, as our transportation department has to confirm different routes, and that's going to base the pickup and drop off times. But we'll be sure to capture your email. Once they have enrolled since 9th grade, can seniors already in the program for the last year get early release if they have met all the diploma credits early? That's a question for the counseling department. That's a question for your counseling department at North Stafford. But we'll happily take that question and forward that to them. If you have several questions, we ask you to email them to academicprograms@staffordschools.net. Do we have information on the college graduates of the program that have got accepted to? Well, the wonderful thing is we have one of our lead for STAT on the line. Mr. Evans, can you answer that question, please?
We get students accepted all over the country. We have had a student last year accepted to RIT, the Rochester Institute of Technology, which is one of the premier engineering schools in the country. We get kids going to Virginia Tech all the time, UVA, JMU. all over the place. We've get kids to Embry-Riddle, down in Newport News, we've got kids down there, just all over the place.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. I also have our stat academic lead available via phone, and she said we've had various students in the 16 years of stat be accepted to schools including Georgia Tech, MIT, and various engineering schools throughout the country. If accepted to the program, why I have automatically be in the courses for this program? So the answer is yes. This program sequence is pretty prescribed. There's not a lot of room. There's 32 opportunities for students. There's 32 opportunities for students to take courses throughout their 4 years. And as you can see, each one of these boxes is pretty full with robust and rigorous courses. So that is the expectation for students to complete the sequence. Do the cohorts take all engineering classes together? How many students in a class? Are students in the engineering class, or are they just stat students? So there's various answers to that. Mr. Todd, you can go ahead and unmute.
For the most part, yes, all the students stay together in their engineering classes. If you look at like the 10th grade year, they get a choice between either aerospace engineering or digital electronics. So they would be in different classes there. We usually have 2 full cohorts. We're accepting 50 students, so that's 25 per cohort. But those can get mixed together a little bit here and there, depending on what their choices are in electives. When they go to English and things like that, depending on other parts of their schedule, if they're in band or if they're in something like that, they may go to a different English class, but it still has several of their cohort members in it. So it's not like every single class is with the exact same 25 kids, but every class they go to has quite a few of their cohort members in it.
Will cohort students be able to participate in sports programs? Yes. Students have opportunities to participate in all activities, sports, and extracurricular activities. It's just a balance of them being in a program and maintaining their studies, but we encourage them to take the full advantage of their high school experience. Is there only one bus to transport all the out of zone students? Will pick up be at a specific bus stop or directly at the student's home? Those questions and logistics will be answered later when we have a confirmed number of students, and transportation will identify those specific bus stops. We don't have that information at this time. As stated inside the chat, specific transportation questions will likely not be able to be answered until the summer. There's a question regarding the sample of work. You're welcome to go to PLTW, Project Lead the Way. If you go to their website, you'll be able to find and identify some of the sample projects that students will participate in. Also, the STAT programs, all 3 academies participate in a STAT capstone night in the spring, and students are encouraged to participate and observe some of the capstone and end of the cohort programs or presentations that the seniors have completed. So that's a great opportunity to kind of see the end result of what students have been working on. How many hours of homework will they bring home daily? Many of the assignments are project-based and inside the classroom. It really would all depend on the project and also the student's time management and also their investment. Sometimes there's students that are working on it all during the school day and use their time wisely during the school day. And some students are heavily invested and want to continue to work on it at home. Some students may need the additional time management to work on it at home because time is not used. So that really varies. There's not a specific amount of homework time that's given. If you look at the question is regarding the math sequence. If you go to the program of study, we'll put that link inside the chat. There is a very sequence regarding the different math classes. And so you can look at the various options. There's several options for math. And so it's one that begins at algebra, one that begins at geometry, one that begins at algebra 2. So I encourage you to take a look at the program of study to see that sequence. Mr. Todd?
That's pretty much what I was going to say. There is always the chance to take a higher class if that's where the student is. So if the sequence says algebra 1, but if the student already has algebra 1, then they would go to the next class up, which would be geometry. Or if they've already got geometry, they would go to the next class up, which would be algebra 2. And while we're on that, one of the main reasons we ask for students to have algebra 1 before they come into their freshman year is that starting in freshman year, some of the problems we will be working in that introduction to engineering class require algebra 1 skills to solve the problems that we would be working on there.
Thank you, Mr. Todd. The question is, understanding that the work is meant to be challenging, wondering if there's supports in the freshman year. Well, there'll be tutoring available. All the teachers in Stafford schools, specifically inside these cohort programs, create opportunities for the students to be proactive and get support within class and make arrangements for after school activities or after school supports. So yes, there'll be an opportunity for the students to advocate and request support if needed. What are the requirements in order to stay in the program? The students are encouraged to continue to be successful as far as their grades and as far as meeting the expectations of the STAT Honors and Excellence document that's found on the STAT website. Thank you for your question regarding the completion rate. If you put your email address inside of the chat, we can email you that response. Mr. Todd?
I don't have an exact number for the completion rate.
Yeah, we can always email them back.
Yeah, but it is high, and most students who drop out of the program are usually because that student moves. The parents transfer job or something, and they have moved out of district.
Thank you, Mr. Todd. Mr. Evans. Again, if you have any questions, please add them to the chat. Do you have the date of the orientation? Typically, orientation has taken place during the ninth grade freshman day. So it's the day before all students return back to school. Actually, Mr. Evans will be sending an email out to the freshman cohort with that invite, and typically they come out in June. But typically those invites come out in June, but that day will be typically the first freshman day of school. Yes, we can make the slides available. We will email them to you. Thank you if you put your email address inside the chat, but it looks like you have already. Thank you very much. If we move within Stafford schools while they are in the program, are they able to stay in the program? Yes. Anyone that put their email addresses inside the chat will be sure to make sure that you get a copy of the presentation. If there's no additional questions, we will be concluding this presentation. Thank you so much for attending the STAT engineering information. We hope that you have learned more about this world-class program, and we hope that you choose to be a part of this cohort. This presentation has ended. We will begin to stop the presentation now.